Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. An honor, really. This is, I think, my fourth time here. And the objective today is to introduce you to Cosmos, if you don't know what it is already, and to convince you that Cosmos is something you should seriously take a look at when deciding what technology you want to use to build your blockchain. And also to introduce you to the things that are coming soon after you'll see. So I started as a software programmer. I've been developing software for over a decade in the Bay Area in San Francisco. And around 2013, I got very interested in Bitcoin and decided to commit my career to it because I fundamentally believe in DeFi and decentralized financial technology. Nowadays, I see that that was a very fortunate decision because not only are we in a good position to help mold the future of finance, but also because it puts us in a very good position to solve some of the major problems in the world. But enough of that. Let's show you a video that kind of introduces what Cosmos is about. You can play the video, please.
The Cosmos SDK is the tool that gives developers the ability to create sovereign blockchains with plug-and-play modules to ultimately launch their very own token economies. An example blockchain built with this SDK is the Cosmos Hub. The Cosmos Hub features the latest generation of technology like BFT consensus, proof of stake, and on-chain governance. The Cosmos SDK gives your blockchain the ability to connect to other sovereign blockchain applications through IBC. Using these tools, new blockchain applications can be built at record speed, connecting and transferring data and assets with each other for the first time in history. With Cosmos, blockchain technology has the power to revolutionize open finance, prediction markets, cross-border payments, healthcare, real estate, and more. Contribute to the Cosmos vision for a world of explosive economic growth through the power of connected blockchains. Cosmos, the internet of blockchains.
Thank you. So what Cosmos is it's about connecting sovereign blockchains together. It's about allowing blockchains to securely communicate with each other using a protocol very similar to TCP/IP. TCP/IP is a sequential packet communication protocol. But what Cosmos in our technology allows you to do, and the protocols that we're developing allow you to do, is to create blockchains that can securely communicate. This allows you to solve the scalability problems, for example. It allows you to transfer your tokens from one blockchain to another, but via two-way pegging. And this way, by having many parallel chains that are coordinated by a common chain, such as the Cosmos Hub, you can solve scalability and interoperability. So maybe the best way to summarize what we do is that we are creating the infrastructure for this level token economy. And I want to show you where we are at, our progress so far, and what's to come. Okay, so what we've been doing, we started in 2014. Tendermint is a consensus algorithm. I started developing Tendermint in 2014 primarily because I saw that Bitcoin work would be very expensive and that the environmental impact would be very significant and that the ROI from mining would not be so great. And for us to have a scalable blockchain ecosystem, we need something that is more than just proof of work, although I believe that proof of work is important. So it turns out that BFT algorithms have been in research. So consensus algorithms that don't require proof of work have been in research ever since the 70s. And what Keynote is it's the first consensus engine that brings the consensus research from the 70s and 80s funded by governments and brings it to the blockchain context. And on top of this BFT layer, you can create public proof of stake chains, but of course you can also create permission blockchains as well. And it's actually the the inspiration for a lot of new consensus algorithms as well. So like Facebook Libra's hot stuff algorithm was actually inspired by Tendermint, and there are other consensus algorithms that are inspired by Tendermint. And that's because it was the first one. Not only was it the first, it's actually really well designed. So I'll show you some slides later about the progress of adoption, but it's quite significant. And then in 2016, after having created Tendermint, we realized that the primary challenge in the blockchain space is actually scalability of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Because cryptocurrencies is the primary use case still so far, and probably will be for a while. But the scaling problem hasn't been solved yet. Of course, there's Lightning Network, but that requires capital lockup costs, so it's not clear exactly how much adoption will get. We believe that Lightning is important and an integral part of the future, but you also need to coordinate. You need to have multiple parallel blockchains coordinated by something like IBC. So actually in 2016, I was here, and we won an award. And then the following year, 2017, we conducted a fundraiser, and then for Cosmos. And then in 2018, we had a test net. This was the first incentivized massive BFT test net. We had over 200 unique users around the world participating. It was the first BFT blockchain with so many users where these people were just public strangers that are coming together to test this thing. So that was the Game of Space test net. And then soon after, we launched the Cosmos Hub in 2019, so early this year. So March, so it hasn't even been a year yet. Mm-hmm. All right, now I'm going to tell you about why you should care. Why do people care about what we do? And here are some social attraction points. One is proof of stake is gaining more adoption, gaining more mind share, and Cosmos and Tendermint is at the forefront of it. So not only this year is there more proof of stake coins and more assets under management, but we predict that next year and the year after, we're going to see significantly more assets under management. And I'll show you some of the projects that we're building on Cosmos and Tendermint. But this is proof, one proof that we're on the right track. But I think this is the most interesting slide. Of the new blockchains that are being created, the proof of stake blockchains, 40% are actually powered by Tendermint. So I'm talking about consensus algorithms like Tendermint, but also specifically our software, Tendermint Core. So we're on the right track to creating a network effect of blockchains that are powered by BFT consensus algorithms, including Tendermint. And so you can see where this is headed, right? The Cosmos Hub is meant to be a blockchain that connects to many other blockchains. Right? The Cosmos Hub it exists, it's live. It's a proof of stake, multi-asset blockchain. It's got on-chain governance. And I'll tell you more about the validators that are running this. But the purpose of the Cosmos Hub is to connect to many other sovereign blockchains. And the figure here, what I'm showing you, is that many people are creating their own sovereign blockchains with their own validator set, using our software with the intention of connecting those blockchains, we call them zones, to the Cosmos Hub, right, such that they can be part of this scaling solution. The validator set for Cosmos is amazing. So if you're wondering, if proof of stake is going to be as significant as proof of work, then you should probably see a community as vibrant as proof of work mining community, right? There are mining pools, over 20, and just as much, lots of mining enthusiasts. Well, they exist, and they're primarily coordinating around the Cosmos Hub. There's currently 100 validators, and you might think that 100 is a small number, but you need to compare that to the number of mining pools. Because on the Cosmos Hub, any staking token holder can delegate. So we can support many, many delegators who are delegating which validators they want to stake to. And you see that we have validator businesses, wallet providers, proof of work mining pools, like steak fish, which comes from big fish, and developers and so on, and funds. So we have a very vibrant community. Number of validators is about to go up to 125, so we're going to keep increasing that number. But 100 is sufficient for now. What you're seeing is that because we have, because of the way the corporate economics works, because of the progress we've made and the strength of the community, new projects that are launching their own chain are coming to the Cosmos Hub validator set to prove validators for their own blockchain. So that's a new thing that's happening. It's going to become more streamlined in the future with things like shared security over IBC. So let's talk about that today. There's over 100 projects building on Cosmos and on Tendermint and Cosmos. And so these are projects that are building their own blockchain, and like I mentioned, are going to connect to the Cosmos Hub. The Binance DEX chain is built on the Cosmos SDK. I mean, that's pretty good proof right there. And since we're in China, there's also IrisNet. The IrisNet is building on Cosmos SDK. And we have like real blockchains with real users, like the VLife chain with over 1 million users actually using our technology to power our blockchains. And this keeps growing. So we're building a network effect already. There's significant activity on the Cosmos SDK on GitHub. It's open source. It's one of the top blockchain projects. So please take a look. Maybe the best way to describe the SDK is it's like Ruby on Rails or Django, but for blockchain development. It's a base layer. It's written in Go for you to program your own blockchain in. And I'll show you later, but we're also developing modules so that you can run smart contracts, so that these smart contracts and WASM contracts as well on top of the blockchain created by the SDK. So it's a very flexible platform. There's a lot of progress already on the Cosmos Hub. So, we launched the Cosmos Hub and we enabled transfers, fixed a lot of bugs. Recently, there's been more refactors and improvements. And there's about to be a Cosmos Hub upgrade, a major one. And then we're also already working on many other things. The most important thing is IBC, so I'll be talking about that. But yeah. And it's not just the software. The ecosystem is also growing as well. So the Interchain Foundation is the foundation. It's based on Switzerland, modeled after the Ethereum Foundation that conducted the fundraiser. We really believe in decentralization and modularity. So what we care about is creating good protocols and good design. Not only can you use the Cosmos SDK to develop your blockchain in Go, but we're developing other SDKs in different languages too, because we already designed Tendermint to be agnostic, to be able to plug into any state machine. So for example, Foam, Cadena, collaborating to create a Haskell SDK. And there are many other implementations of Tendermint networks that are going to be API compatible. And we have great plans in the future for making everything more secure. We really care about proper protocol design and security, like very few projects do, actually. All right, so what's coming? Let's take a look at what is coming. What I care most about, and I think what's most important, what our community is waiting for, is IBC. So the best way to describe IBC is, and how it works, is it's when you have a phone, like a light client, there's a way for your phone to be able to very quickly verify something about a blockchain, even though it's communicating with like an insecure internet. The way you do that is first you prove the block hash. You prove that the most recent block hash in the blockchain is something. And you can do that quickly, unlike in a proof of work chain, because of just the nature of how BFT algorithms work, like Tendermint. In fact, Tendermint was designed initially to make light client security very good. And it just so happens that is the magic sauce that allows for inter-blockchain communication, because you can turn a blockchain into a light client of another blockchain. We're collaborating with multiple projects in the space. For example, with Agoric. Agoric is working on a secure ECMAScript system, and the founder is one of the early thought leaders of smart contracts from decades ago. And they're now building, actually fulfilling the mission that he set out to do in working with us to design IBC. Finance is also working with us. So this is a collaborative project, and it's probably going to become the dominant IBC technology. So that's very exciting. And there's already implementations happening in multiple languages, including Rust. So I kind of described that just now. It's sort of how IBC works, but just to reiterate, it's a cross-blockchain communication protocol. So you have, on the one hand, you have blockchain A, and then you have blockchain B. These are two independent blockchains with independent validator sets. And what you're doing is you're using a relayer to submit transactions onto chain B, proving to chain B that something is happening on chain A, namely that chain A wants to send chain B some packets. And using this as a base protocol, this layer, you can build additional things on top. So the Cosmos Hub is going to use IBC for token pegging and token transfers in the likeness of side chains and blockchain side chains paper with token pegging. But we're designing our protocol so that it's agnostic, and you can use it to do all kinds of things, not just token transfers, but even smart contract calls. So we're also collaborating with ETH 2.0 teams to help them with their IBC. So the spec is complete, and we're starting to implement it, and then we're going to have a testnet, kind of like how we have in the States, called the Keynote zones. So look out for that. And then after that, we'll launch IBC on the Cosmos Hub with an upgrade, and then the network effect will start. And another thing we're working on is IBC is good for communication between two fast finality chains, like two Tendermint chains. But if you want to communicate with proof of work chain, like mainnet Ethereum, then you need something slightly different because we want to keep IBC about fast finality. So we're developing PEGI such that you can peg your ERC20 tokens onto the Cosmos ecosystem as well. And we're making good progress there. There's already a unidirectional PEGI, but soon we'll have a bidirectional one, and we'll be able to use ERC20 tokens in the Cosmos ecosystem. Another way to bring Ethereum on Cosmos is by something like Ethernet, where you can actually run validity contracts on blockchain created on the Cosmos SDK. And so, like I mentioned, the Cosmos SDK is a generic framework for developing applications or blockchain applications, but some of the modules that will be available are things like the EVM modules. You can run Solidity on its own, connected to the Cosmos Hub. And so in that sense, you can scale Ethereum smart contract functionality. And we're working with ChainSafe. They have built an Ethernet version, but we're going to have a 2.0 implementation soon and a testnet and so on. And we'll do the same thing for Wasp as well. Okay, and another thing that's coming up, we're very excited about, is we're contributing to the DeFi hackathon happening in San Francisco, November 1st to 3rd. So please come join us if you want to hack on this tech and start building some cool IBC blockchain applications. There's going to be all kinds of prizes and bounties, so looking forward to you there. Please take a look at that QR code or go to hackathon.sfblockchainweek.io. And we're going to have a meetup. So go to meetup.com/Cosmos Shanghai. Just a week ago, we had our first inaugural meetup, Cosmos meetup in Singapore. And so here's the Cosmos meetup in Shanghai. Hope to find you there. And one of the things that we've been hearing in China is that we're quite understated, that there's not enough activity typically from our community in Cosmos. But we're about to change that. So please get in touch with us. And here's the website. Please visit our website and contact us. It's about to become very exciting because IBC is the crux of all of this, and it's where the network effect starts really gaining steam. And we're going to double down our efforts in expanding our community internationally now that a lot of software is done. So please get in touch with us. We want to work with you and explain what we're all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.